Welcome to Two Fat Buds. My name is Lee Hacker. I am your co-host, along with my co-host.
Uncle Al. Hey guys, how are we doing tonight?
Y'all are going to have to excuse me. Literally right before we went on air, I just got word that me and my wife are getting ready to have our first grandchild either tonight or tomorrow morning. So I'm a little excited, a little happy. But I'm also happy because we have a special guest on tonight called The Hippie. The Hippie is a DJ for WTHC on Live 365, which is an app. Al, what do you got going on in the Al world?
In the Al world, oh my God, I'm going to be a grandpa as well. I found out the end of last month that my son's girlfriend is pregnant, and it'll be their first child, so I'm kind of excited.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations. That is awesome. That is definitely awesome. Let's see. So, like I said, we have a special guest on tonight. He is a DJ. But you guys are gonna be a little shocked when you meet the Hippie. But I say we don't wait any longer and we bring in the Hippie.
Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome in.
Welcome in, sir. Welcome in.
First, let me say congratulations to you, Lee, and to you, Al. That is fantastic news, and I'm getting nervous because doesn't it like come in threes? And I have a 23-year-old daughter. No, I don't want any.
It's in the water.
No, not me. Not now. My youngest just graduated high school, so I'm done. I'm done for a while. I need a break.
Good deal. Hopefully, right?
Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'm glad. Thank you.
No, not a problem. We're the ones that are grateful that you're coming on to talk to us about your little radio thing you have going on. Well, it's not so much a radio; it's a digital broadcasting.
Yeah.
On the app, and you play music and you entertain the people and talk. You have a co-host called Dr. High, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So yeah, it's we're a radio station on Live 365 or TuneIn, and you just look up WTHC. I start at 8:00 in the morning on the East Coast, and I go until 4:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast.
Wow.
So I do an 8.5-hour day shift, only because I'm the sole proprietor of this radio station, and I'm looking for other people to fill in the other hours. And as of right now, it's a difficult thing because you have to know the person, you have to trust the person, because they have control. Once you give them control, they can shut you off in the middle of a show. For instance, if you were in the middle of a show. Anyway, that being said, what was your question? I already forgot.
Basically, I said, it was really cool that you got a radio station going on and stuff like that.
Right.
So, Hippie, let me ask you a question. Obviously, there's a man behind the puppet character.
Yeah.
What got you into cannabis? At what age were you when you first time you smoked, and what got you into cannabis, and why do you still choose cannabis now?
All right. When I was a young gentleman in my young teens, I guess it was the first time. I was about 13 or so, and it was experimental, I guess you would say. It was just a couple friends came over, and they said they had some, and I was apprehensive, but said, okay. And I did it, and I haven't turned back since.
Interesting. And are you smoking recreational or do you smoke medical?
In my state, I have a card. I am medically overqualified, according to my doctor. He says I'm overqualified. But in Pennsylvania, it is not a recreational state. So, but I've been smoking, like I said, all my life. I thought it was recreational, but as I get older, I realized that I was self-medicating on a lot of issues that I may or may not have.
Understood.
No need to get onto that.
Yep, I get it. I hear what you're saying 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we got a couple questions we'd like to ask, and if you don't mind, I'm going to get it started with. Can you share with us the inspiration behind starting a weed radio station, and what made you take the leap into the venture?
All right. Well, I'm going to go off script, even though Mrs. Hippie and I sat for an hour and we wrote it all down. I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay.
Okay.
So I was sick with COVID, and I was home laying on the couch one day, and I was watching YouTube, TikTok, I apologize, on my phone. And my kids were like, why don't you put it on the TV? And then they threw it up onto the TV, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then I said, and I was flipping through, and I came across, I'm going to throw out a name, Comedy Elmo. And shout out to Comedy Elmo. Comedy Elmo was on, and I was like, oh, I like that, man. And he's cool. And he was doing great things, you know, giving gifts and taking care of people. And I was like, this is amazing. I freaking love this. And I have a sister who has special needs. And so all my life, we're like the same age. So all my life, I used to puppet for her. And I would just play with puppets and, you know, entertain her to keep her happy when she was sad or whatever. So I had some puppeting knowledge, we'll say. I don't think that I'm great at puppeting. I could be better, but you know, I'm skilled. So anyway, long story short, I started out puppeting on TikTok. I started out actually as Comedy Grover because I thought comedy was something I was supposed to put in my name because of Comedy Elmo. And I was Grover. And the first time I went live, it was the scariest thing I ever did in my entire life. I could do a decent Grover voice at the time. My voice has changed since doing the radio, but I was so scared that I gave it up. I was like, I'm never going back on TikTok again. I'm done. I did the one battle, and Elmo was, my first battle was against Elmo. I'm sorry. It took a while for Grover to become popular, not too long because he was Grover and the puppets were taking over. So anyway, I want to rush. I'm sorry. I'm a talker. I told you. So, like I said, I battled Elmo, and he was amazing. His whole team came over. They gifted me. They made me feel so welcome, but I was petrified, scared to shit. Anyway, cut that story there. All right. So all then right. I'm puppeting, and I've been puppeting now. I create tie-dye tea. I don't know if you remember tie-dye tea, but that was one of my other puppets. He was like my first puppet. He was a llama that looked like a stoner. Anyway, I created tie-dye tea. He was my first puppet, and nobody really knew what he was, so he wasn't nearly as popular as Grover. So I was like, all right, this is much more tolerable. 4 people in my room, 5 people in my room, not 7,000 with Elmo. I was like, no. Anyway, I like to hide behind the camera because of my own issues with mental illness, you know, with anxiety and panic attacks, self-esteem, that kind of stuff. So that's why I never became a comedian. I would have loved to have become a comedian. That was my dream, to be an entertainer. When I was a young child, I wanted to be a radio DJ, but I never thought it was going to happen. All right, cut to this story. I'm now a pretty successful, not huge, but decent, you know, not Elmo status, but getting there, you know, puppet as the hippie. And I'm getting pretty popular. People are starting to recognize me. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Gangster Elmo, another one. Shout out to Gangster Elmo, another Elmo. He came to me one day and he said, hey, hippie, we're doing a fundraiser for the families of Uvalde, Texas, when the shooting happened there. Yep. Are you interested in doing it? I said, abso-freaking-lutely. The whole weekend, I will donate whatever I raise. The whole weekend, I'll be on as often as I can. So he says, there's a DJ that's going to be involved as well. He's going to be live. Why don't you come there? You can do your lives there. We'll hang out. We'll raise funds. It's going to be great. I said, absolutely. I go there. I jump in the box with the DJ. Him and I become friends. Boom. I'm a co-host with him. I was scared. I asked him at the end of the weekend. By the way, I raised $600 for the families of Uvalde.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That was just Team Hippie. Yeah. I love, shout out to all those guys that donated. Because there was a lot more. There was a whole bunch of teams. I think we donated in the thousands. I'm sorry. But anyway, Al, tell me if there's a commercial or something if I'm talking.
No commercials, just us doing this.
All right. So then, so we did the show, and at the end of the show, I had the balls. I said, you know, if I don't ask him, I'm never going to know. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to ask him. And I went to the DJ of that radio station. It was called KLAB out of Las Vegas. And I said, hey, Lab, I really enjoyed myself as your co-host, and we kind of got along pretty good. what do you think if I come back tomorrow? And he was like, absolutely. And then there it was. And I started with him as a co-host, and he was doing one show a day. And then he was like, all right. And then we, some shit happened, whatever. He sent me his DJ equipment. He got new equipment. Then he gave me my own show. And then I was doing my own show in the afternoon. It was the Afternoon Buzz. And then he quit. He retired. He had a bad back and he had to retire. He was like, oh, I'm going to give you, I'll be there, and he ended up having to retire because of medical conditions.
Yep.
He doesn't smoke enough weed, I'll tell you. But that's because I got a bad back and I'm able to do it. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's
quite all right. Quite all right. That answered the question. What role do you think music plays in enhancing your cannabis experience?
All right, I'm gonna go to the paperwork here for this one.
All right.
Mrs. Hippie and I decided that, to me, sitting and relaxing absolutely is a way of my meditation. So I've always been a music person, per se. So I always would sit back, relax, listen to some music to try to meditate, calm my brain. I have a issue with brain going too fast. So, I would always listen to music and try to calm myself. I feel the vibe of each session. I have, a ton of downloaded songs and cannabis related songs. Am I on the same topic or did I skip paragraphs?
No, you're good. You're good.
I also have 420 somewhere favorites, but I take a lot of requests and I sometimes follow what the listeners want, so I couldn't understand what I wrote there. So, as the DJ, it's all about feeling your crowd, so everybody that's sitting there hanging out, especially doing it the way I do it, which is different than any other DJ. There's like a lot of DJs on TikTok and they don't have anybody in their room or, they just play the music and, I let my friends and family be a part of the show. I mean, sometimes they drive me nuts, but but for the most part, I love them to death, and I want them to be a part of the show. This was given to me as a gift. So, and you're going to hear me say this again because I say it about the music as well. It was in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to become a millionaire and I'm going to become rich and famous. And this is going to be the greatest thing. Yeah, that didn't happen for very long. That thought went out really quick once I started to see numbers and I was like, all right, this is going to take a very long time. But you know what I can do in that meantime is give back to people. Mm-hmm. So every day I try to find new artists who are putting out music and they're busting their asses every day and they're trying and they're never going to, they may never make it. I don't want to say they're never going to make it. They may never get anywhere, but what can I do? I can put them on every day and play their song for them. I've done it for a few guys and they've actually broken down in tears because it was the first time their music has ever been played on the radio. And,
wow.
And the feeling, I'm getting goosebumps just saying it now, just thinking about it, because it made me break down into a tear because Look at him watching me play his song for the very first time on the radio ever. And it may never, ever get played on another radio site. God, I hope it does because I play it every day and I'm pounding it into people's heads, so that maybe it will become somewhat popular and pick up and become famous. Anyway.
That's amazing. That is amazing that you did that and are doing that.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel like I have to give back because this was given to me as a gift. Like a person on TikTok bought 2 puppets from the guy who owned that radio station. And he said, if somebody buys these 2 puppets, he built puppets. And he said, if somebody buys these 2 puppets, then I will have enough money to buy what I need to get the new radio station. And then I'm going to give Hippie everything that I have so he can start his career as a DJ. And he thought, that I have the right voice for it and the right personality for it and the perfect face for it because he's a big ugly. That's why I go with the puppet.
Understood.
Because I'm a big ugly guy over here. Anyway, go ahead.
Al, you got a question for the Hippie? Let me before you do that, Al. The Hippie, I agree with you, especially on TikTok. There are tons of unsigned, unnoticed musicians that have amazing songs out there. They really are.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you're taking your platform and combining it with them on TikTok to embrace them and give them somewhere to play their music outside of TikTok is amazing, man. It really is.
Right. It's on, so now it's not, it's not on your FM station, but you know what? It's on every day. I have 5 or 6 or 8 people right now that I play on a regular basis, at least once or twice during my show. And then I put them automatically on 24 hours a day. So they are automatically in my loop. So if I'm not on the air, which is, probably about 12 or 16 hours a day, depending on the day, where I might have, it's not dead air, it's music playing, but now it's them playing. Why not have other people hearing it all the time? And I was talking to one of the guys today, and I said, you've sent me 5 or 6 songs. I said, and I like them all, but I feel like this is my favorite one. So I'm going to pound this into everybody's head, because this is the one that's going to, if I play all 5 or 6 every day, they're going to be confused by which one, and
Yeah.
But if I pound one into their head every day, maybe, just maybe, somebody will start humming it, and next thing you know, they're going to want to buy it, and then So that's my goal.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Really cool.
And then to bring weed into it, my whole weed aspect is that and you guys seem to be around my age, maybe even a little younger, you handsome fellas. But anyway, I feel like we've been pounded in us all of our lives, that, it's bad stuff. No. So I feel like if I bring a puppet to the whole thing and I can explain to people that it's not a bad thing, and that it's medicine, and just be able to spread the word that, we can have a good time and we can enjoy ourselves. That's my goal. I don't know.
Most definitely. No, that's a great goal. That's kind of one of the reasons why me and Al started the podcast, was we wanted to get the word out there about cannabis and be advocates for cannabis. But we also wanted to show people that, they say, oh, a stoner, they don't do anything. They just sit around and do nothing.
Right.
Here we are running the podcast. I'm vice president of a nonprofit organization. There's a lot that we got going on to show that not all stoners.
Speaking of which, why is your beard not purple, sir?
My beard is no longer purple because I shaved my whole face off.
Oh shit, I missed that, and it grew back that quick.
Yeah, this has been since September. I went completely clean shaven for a week in September.
Oh my goodness, I missed it. It came back that quick.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, go ahead. Next question.
All right, Al, why don't you get him up?
All right. Before I say that, I just want to let you know I have been a mobile DJ for the past 23 years in Pennsylvania to boot. So we may have crossed paths at one point in time.
Oh, well, no, I don't think so. I'm fairly new. It's only been 2 years or so. So, in fact, my 1-year anniversary of on my own was on the 4th of July. That's when Hobbies and I started WTHC.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but I love it. I dreamt of it as a child. I remember being in my basement. My parents had a big cement bar, old fashioned, brick bar. And I used to stand behind it and pretend there was glass in front of me. And I would stand there and I would be there for hours, just playing music on the radio. I couldn't get the 8-track in there quick enough to get the next song up. It was, and I never thought it would happen. And then with my anxieties and my panic attacks and social anxieties,
oh yeah,
I never thought I would be able to stand up on a stage and do comedy. And, that's what I love to do, is make people smile and laugh. That's my biggest thing. I've always wanted to make people smile. I'm a people pleaser. That's my downfall as well, is that I get taken advantage of as well.
Oh, yes.
I'm a people pleaser.
I think we all are for the most part.
Yeah.
But all right, for the question. Can you tell us about the programming and content that you offer on your radio station?
Absolutely. I mean, we've touched base on a lot of it already. I mean, yes. I get on at 8:30 in the morning, and like I said, it's early in the morning, so I don't go right to that heavy metal, kick-ass rock and roll unless I got a crowd full of people that are looking for that. So I'll usually start out with a good mix of old classic rock and roll, like the 70s, some of that really good shit from the 60s and the 70s. Can I curse?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm cursing like crazy over here. So then, But usually by the second 420 of the morning, and we celebrate every 420 from one side of the world to the other. So we start out bright and early, and we're 420 and right off. I'm already 420 before the show even starts.
Mhm.
But I'm sorry. I couldn't read it. Hold on, my son is in here. There's an important emergency. What's up?
We were asking what type of programming you offer on your station and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
All right. Okay. Thank you, son. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
You're good. You're good. I didn't hear you were talking to your son. It happens.
I muted it so nobody could hear. My wife had a issue at work, and she's not going to be home anytime soon. So
hopefully everything's good with that issue.
He needed to tell me.
Understand.
So I apologize.
Nope.
Al, so I was saying, and the newest thing is Dr. High now. I am so excited and so happy to have Dr. High. The man is a walking encyclopedia. When Hobbies and I were doing the show together, and I don't like to, I'm not saying anything bad about Hobbies. I love him to death still to this day. But when him and I were doing the show, he introduced us to Dr. High. It was his, he knew about Dr. High. And I was like, oh my God. And I was in awe. And then, Hobbies was really good. And I love him for this as well. He got us some great guests. I mean, we had Jorge Cervantes, the Jesus of the medical marijuana of marijuana. Mm-hmm. He wrote the encyclopedia. I'm sure both of you have the book, or one of you at least has the book at home. Hobbies was fantastic at getting us some really great guests over the time. And, and I love him for that. And I appreciate him for that. And I miss him for that because he was great at that. And Dr. High was one of our guests. And then I had to reach out afterwards after Hobbies left, and I had to try to figure out what to do. And I was like, how could I not ask Dr. High if he might be interested in helping me create this radio station and make it bigger? And he was thrilled. He was excited. I was very happy to hear he was excited.
That's good.
Good. So, and then in the afternoon we rock out, and depends, and then, there's right now I have another gentleman. He's in the process. He's going to be more of a heavy metal, more than I can handle. I wasn't into that thrash, kill your mother, screw your brother kind of stuff. I wasn't into that. I was more of a hair band. It was like after that, I kind of gave up. The 90s music was good, but it's been downhill ever since. I mean, it's been rough. It's been rough to find some good stuff. I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's never going to be classics like the classics.
No.
That's why they're the classics. That's exactly why they're the classics.
I hate going on and putting on the oldie station now and hearing our music, though. I'm like,
CBS. All right. I got to tell a story.
Going on to CBS FM and hearing freaking the Big Bopper telling me that Guns N' Roses is a classic. I'm like, what?
I got to tell a story real quick. When I moved from Seattle back to Cincinnati, and I bought my car because I flew and then I bought a car when I got here. I went to what used to be my mom and dad's 103.5 here in Cincinnati, which was classic, the oldie station.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm tuning in my radio stations, the old pop station I used to listen to, the old hip hop station I used to listen to, 103.5, and I hit the button and program it in. And I heard a song, I'm like, wait a second, that's my music being played. And then I heard the next song, I'm like, oh my God, I'm old.
Def Leppard and Whitesnake. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
ACDC and yep.
But you would be surprised. You would be very surprised on the knowledge of a lot of our younger youth. I would say as a TikTok person, and you get a lot of different ages as a TikTok creator. You have people from all different categories. I feel like a lot of those. I get a decent amount of younger youth. I don't know if it's because of the cannabis, probably a little more towards the cannabis, but but they hang out and they're there for 5, 6 hours, hanging out, listening to our music, and I did right by my kids. I taught them. They know my music before they were able to hear any other music. You know, they were singing the Grateful Dead before they even knew what music was. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Go ahead. Your show, not my show.
No.
You're
I'm enjoying
doing good.
that's basically what our show's about, is we just have conversations that fill the time. So there's, you're doing great, man. You're doing great. This is awesome.
All right. I just want to behave myself. I'm just trying to behave.
You're good.
You're
100%
doing
good.
awesome.
This is all, we're all 18 and up on the video, on the programming, and it's on YouTube, so we can cuss, we can smoke, whatever it is you feel you want to do.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. You got a question? You got a question?
I do have another question. Yes. What advice would you give to aspiring DJs or entrepreneurs looking to enter the cannabis industry and create their own platforms?
I mean, that's a great question. Like I said, I wasn't really planning on this. I mean, cannabis was always my platform, even as the hippie. After Grover, I said, you know what? I don't see enough of this on TikTok. And it's legal now. It's legal in a lot of states. And I didn't know about you guys, yet, and I was just flipping through the FYP and I'm coming across, Grover and Elmo and, Kermit. And so I really didn't find that 420 section of TikTok. So that being said, I said, I'm going to create a puppet, because I see all these puppet guys. I'm going to start a weed oriented. And I was pissed off. I was a pissed off puppet, a pissed off hippie. That was what I was when I first started, because I live in Pennsylvania and I'm still a little pissed off, but they just put a bill on it. So I'm going to try to keep it down. But I was pissed off because I got to pay these outlandish prices at these dispensaries, and they won't allow me to grow my own medicine in my state. And that was my platform. And I was standing on a soapbox, and every day I was telling everybody, pack my bowl with likes and love. And this is a hippie. And we got to do something about this, because this is bullshit that I got to pay $100 a gram for dabs. And I got to pay $100 a gram for carts and $400 an ounce for flour. Now, of course, the prices have gone down substantially since that was when it first became legal 5 years ago, in Pennsylvania. But, that was my platform. And then, then this just came naturally. I was like, all right, I'll take this platform and stand on it and run with it now. Fuck it.
There you go.
Very good. Excellent. Lee, do you have any questions?
Yep. I think we got a few more questions. Let's see how it goes.
I am in no rush. As long as you guys are okay with it running over. I know you said you.
Yeah. We try to stay within 30 minutes, but if we're over a little bit, it's not the end of the world. This is just what we do. I'm having a great time talking with you.
I am too.
So if we go a little bit over, I'm cool with it 100%.
All right. I know that on YouTube and Facebook, you try not to go over a certain amount of time because people don't pay attention after a certain amount of time.
Hey, hopefully people are still paying attention. If not, maybe we'll catch them on the next podcast.
Right. Hopefully we can keep them laughing.
Correct.
Right.
So let me ask you this. As a DJ, you have a unique platform to influence people's perception. How do you use the radio station to combat stigma and promote responsible cannabis use?
Every day, it's what I do. Besides going on the radio and being live throughout the world, because Live 365 is worldwide, so you can get it in Australia, you can get it in the UK, you can get it anywhere. And that was the difference between iHeart. iHeart you couldn't get in a lot of those places, but Live 365 you could. Anyway, but going on to TikTok and talking amongst our friends and influencing the new people that are joining, that see my name that says 420 Hippie or whatever the name might be at this time because of a banana or two. But for trying to spread the word that way. Now with Dr. High, we go live every day on Facebook. So we're live like this on Facebook and YouTube every day at 10 a.m. And I'm hoping to build that platform bigger and bigger. And then, of course, you guys helping me come on and having me come on and being able to talk with you guys. And you guys, when I have you guys back on, we'll have you guys back on as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out a whole platform for that because I don't want to interfere with Dr. High. But Dr. High is all about having people come up and hang out with us as well. So I'm like, all right, we'll figure it out.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So
it's real cool. Once again, we're talking with the Hippie from WTHC Live 365 app. who is in charge of digital broadcasting for the radio for his station for his show.
Yep.
Al, you got another question, and we'll try and wrap it up after that one. How's that?
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Trick question.
I lost my question. You know what? A PSA for electronic devices. You know, when they work, they're fabulous, but whenever they don't,
but when you need them most, that's when they say nope.
I know, right?
I could tell you your last question. Do you want me to tell you your last question?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me my last question.
Lastly, what is your vision on the future of your radio station and exciting plans or projects on the horizon that you can share with our listeners? Is that the one?
That's the one.
That's the one. Yes. Thank you so much.
No problem. I had them all from when you guys sent them to me, so I had an idea.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to read what I wrote. We are looking to add more talent to the station, obviously, and more live shows and or podcasts, hint, hint, and more live events people can come out and attend. I would love to start going out and being, that's definitely something I'm afraid of, is going out into that public. And now I got to do it with a puppet on my hand as well. That's not even any better. But, if you get the right high, you can do anything.
That is correct.
Absolutely.
If I get enough medicine in me, I can do anything. I didn't think I could do a radio show, and here I am. If I tell anybody anything, is don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to try. And, especially when it comes to medicine, guys, it's helping.
Nice.
And it's helping people every day. In fact, my buddy up here, we were talking about you earlier to Dr. High about the RSO regimen and everything with you.
Yeah, that RSO saved my kidneys, man. Saved my kidneys.
Yeah, I was telling everybody, just get on an RSO anyway. Why not? I mean,
it ain't gonna hurt you. It's gonna make you high. Big deal.
Especially if you're
scenario, you get the munchies and you go to sleep.
Right. If you're already a partaker, why not be on an RSO regimen right away? Get on it.
That is correct. That is correct.
What the hell? You never know what's going to happen in 25, 30 years from now or however long.
Yep. Well, once again, that is the Hippie from WTHC Live 365 app. Hippie, if you don't mind, I'm going to send you back to the green room, but I would like to carry on our conversation afterwards.
Absolutely.
But we have a little bit of stuff that we need to pimp out a little bit. Thank you again very much for coming on to our podcast.
Absolutely. I love the idea of that too. The podcast. I love it. I freaking love it. I heard you guys saying that when I was in the green room and I was like, oh my goodness, that is brilliant. Brilliant. You're geniuses. I want to thank everybody so much. I want to thank you, Al, and you, Lee, obviously, for letting me be here. And everybody on your show, please come check us out on WTHC. I'm on TikTok all the time. I'm on Facebook, and I'm always on Live 365, 7 days a week for the last 365 days in a row.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Not a day off,
That
8
is
hours
amazing.
a day.
I hear you.
I'm dedicated. I want this to work. I want to be able to help spread the word. I love you guys. Thank you so very much.
No, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on.
Peace.
Wow, that was exciting.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the Hippie to me is a great person in general. When I met him on TikTok, I actually met him when he was hanging out with Comic Elmo. Comic Elmo was doing some amazing things with the community that he was in.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff comes from the TikTok world. So meeting them and his family that he has on TikTok was just really cool. So I was very happy to be able to get him on our podcast. So we have a little bit of house cleaning up to do.
Yes,
we are not sponsored, but we are in partnership with 420 Campfire, which is a nonprofit organization. Also, we are a Facebook group on Facebook. If you'll check it out, 420 Campfire, it looks like a little pot leaf with a campfire underneath it. That's why you know it's the right one, because we do have someone out there that is mimicking us right now. Made another group identical to ours, but they don't have our logo. So you're looking for our logo on 420 Campfire. We also have a website where we sell garments and stuff. 100% of the proceeds go to help homeless vets. That's what the nonprofit side of 420 Campfire is. As a matter of fact, Al, you know about a raffle we got going on. Can you tell us a little bit about the raffle?
Yeah, we have a couple things going on. First off, we're giving away a safety box. You can get tickets for it on the store site or the shop site. And the drawing for that is going to be September 8th at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. The other thing that we have is a tokathon coming up. All the admins and admins, correctly?
Admins and managers, yes.
Admins and managers on July 29th this month at 4:20 p.m. If you pay $5 for one person, that's how many tokes that they have to take. And they have to do it immediately. It can get pretty wild. We're trying to raise money for the homeless vets. And you know what more reason do you need? Actually, that's pretty awesome.
Yep, that is awesome. One thing about raffle tickets, let me interrupt you for a second, then we'll get to your medical information for tonight. Yeah. Raffle tickets are $5 for one, or 5 tickets for $20 right now. So make sure that you go and check out 420campfire.com, where you're looking for a safety box under more or under contact us safety box, and you can click on there and hit the donation buttons to get that stuff. Sorry, I'll go right ahead.
Oh, no worries. You know, I found a fact tonight, and I love this. I love reading stuff like this and researching it. This one's about Bob Marley, who was a musician in the past couple decades. He was buried with his Bible, his guitar, and a bud of marijuana. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
And that's our medical fact for tonight's show. Lee, what do you think? Have a countdown?
We can do that. Give me 1 second. Let me grab that joint that I've been kind of puffing on during the show.
Light that thing up.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Let's do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Campfire, everybody. Don't forget, if you got any questions or anything for us, please hit us up on our Gmail, which is twofatbuds@gmail.com. Yep. And look forward to next week. Our podcast will not be out. Me and Al and a group of people from 420 Campfire will actually be hanging out in a hotel together, getting higher than dog shit and draft balls. So come the following Friday. Keep an eye out for our podcast after that. And when we do that one, we will be interviewing 2 brothers that are cartoonists, animators for Toon Buds on YouTube. They also have a website called toonbuds.com. Those will be our next guests that we have coming up in 2 weeks. So please subscribe to our podcast. We are on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Two Fat Buds. And as far as I know, Al, I think that's everything that we got to say.
I believe it is. Yes, sir.
Al, as always, it's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you for doing this with me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for doing it with me. And, of course, we thank the Hippie again for coming into our show tonight and sharing his time with us.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All righty, folks. Everybody out there, stay safe. Be lifted. Much love.
Much love. Good night, all.